Hello and welcome to the BIPM Automation and Integration session. My name is Christopher. I am an IBM Technical Sales Specialist, and I'll be talking to you about Cognos Integration Server and Cognos Command Center, the products formerly known as Star Analytics, now branded as part of the Cognos family and integrated with the rest of the Cognos platform.
The agenda today begins with a Star Analytics value proposition. Then we'll take a closer look at each of the products. We'll discuss some business cases, including cloud integration, compliance and control, integration in Cognos TM1, as well as some customer case studies. And we'll also provide some YouTube links that show some excellent examples of the product in action. So the value proposition for Star Analytics begins with IBM itself. As a customer of Star Analytics, IBM saw firsthand the value of the solution and acquired Star Analytics in March 2013. So what is the value? Clients today are pushing the boundaries of business analytics and performance management by spanning financial, sales, and operational domains and processes, and must source this data in a fast and reliable way from other systems, including Oracle Hyperion. Clients often rely on a patchwork of custom code that is hard to maintain, often including manual processes that introduce compliance risks with hard-coded logins and credentials, as well as tie up scarce technical staff. Star Analytics software enables access to Oracle Hyperion data sources using business APIs with high-performance, patented and patent pending methods, making data integration and automation simple, fast, reliable, and secure. It offers self-service user experiences for finance and performance management business users, supporting the automation and integration of processes while giving IT partners governance and control required. So again, there's two products. The first one that we'll talk about is Cognos Integration Server. So what Integration Server does is it moves proprietary data and content from Oracle cubes to an open standard format, whether it be flat files or a star schema or a SQL database or IBM DB2 database or Oracle RDBMS for loading into reporting or TM1 type applications. It can be automated and is designed for business users. Cognos Command Center deals with the automation of your business intelligence and performance management environment across heterogeneous applications, platforms, servers, etc. It enhances the manageability of business analytics applications. Again, it's also designed for business users and is also a key enabler for cloud environments, including TM1 in the cloud. So here's a simplified visualization of what Integration Server and Command Center do. Integration Server, again, provides the automated, real-time, near real-time extraction of data and metadata from Essbase, ASO, or BSO, Hyperion Planning, and HFM, or Hyperion Financial Management. It loads that data into a star schema database for use in other IBM Cognos platforms, such as Cognos BI or Cognos TM1, as well as other reporting applications. Cognos Command Center then manages the automation processes and workflows of the data movements through business user-friendly interfaces, including mobile, with full audit and compliance tracking. Note that these two products can be standalone as well as used together in conjunction as part of an integrated solution. So let's now take a deeper look at Cognos Integration Server. Some of the challenges we see with getting data out of Hyperion is that sharing Oracle Hyperion data is hard. Oracle Hyperion data needs to be combined with other data sets for upstream planning and consolidation. And often the use of an ETL tool is software overkill and requires specialized expertise and knowledge to use that tool. Oftentimes, scripting and coding is brittle and labor intensive. Think Windows Scheduler. Extractions can be slow or cumbersome, and maintaining the process is costly and non-compliant. So with Cognos Integration Server, again, we're unlocking data from Oracle. You can think of it as a specialized data bridge that extracts data, metadata, and security profiles from Oracle Essbase, HFM, and Hyperion Planning, and delivers that output into a standard open format for loading into your system of choice. As you can see from this diagram, getting data out of Oracle, loading into a star schema or flat files. Again, it can be any data you want from those source systems. And then once that data is in a standard format, such as a flat file or a star schema, it can be used in other IBM Cognos or other applications. Cognos integration, to sum up, is a high-performing data bridge, preserving application logic, such as the Hyperion drill path, so it balances hierarchies as it extracts, as well as maintains the intelligence in the time and accounting hierarchies within your Essbase or Hyperion source system. So for more information, here are some valuable links. Visit IBM.com. There's some great videos on YouTube out there. If you just search on Google for Star Analytics, you'll find these types of videos. So now let's take a look at Cognos Command Center and what it does. So what we often find with our customers is a system of patchwork of brittle custom code across multiple disparate servers and platforms with multiple performance management and business intelligence systems from different vendors that are moving data around a topology of servers and across development and production, Q&A environments where passwords are often unencrypted and hard-coded. Oftentimes, the IT-based scheduling tools are not PM or BI aware, so they're not designed for business users, which results in a heavy reliance on IT and consulting resources, and also introduces compliance and audit risk issues. But more importantly, you have your highly skilled business users performing repeated manual tasks, waiting for data, moving data, validating data, rather than focusing on their value-added work, such as data analysis, drawing insights from that data, and taking action from a corporate performance standpoint. So these are some of the challenges we see, and these challenges will only continue to grow in magnitude and cost. Again, what we see with today's corporate environment is a heterogeneous mix of business intelligence and performance management applications from various vendors across various platforms such as Windows and Linux, and operating environments that coexist on-premise and in the cloud. Underneath all these different BI and PM applications are custom scripts and interfaces to facilitate the handshake and interaction between systems. These scripts are specific to the application and do such things as move data, consolidate databases, and run consolidated scheduled processes. These custom components normally have hardwired values such as sensitive credentials and hard-coded environment paths, making them inflexible and difficult to maintain. As one can imagine, this complexity gets multiplied across development, test, and production systems, and standard IT scheduling systems cannot address the management of the multiple environments. Command Center is a centrally controlled and secure automation application designed to overcome the challenges outlined earlier. Command Center orchestrates applications either on-premise or in the cloud. using libraries of business functions, eliminating custom code. Command Center has a business-friendly interface that also supports mobility. Again, is a central repository, single location for compliance and audit with full audit tracking and logging. Command Center will also navigate the handshake with enterprise schedulers and web services. It also has a command line interface with each application. Command Center, how does it work? In the lower left corner, note the scripts and automation artifacts. These homegrown binaries or ASCII files are unmanaged and lack version control and typically have hard-coded values such as sensitive login information. Command Center is not a rip and replace technology. It can leverage all the existing automation that has been built. These resources can be loaded and centrally stored in an automation repository, providing audit, version control, and lifecycle management. Additionally, hard-coded values can be replaced with dynamic system variables. Once an automation process is set up, it can be run from a variety of Command Center interfaces. For example, from a standard mobile device, and with appropriate security access, a process can be initiated. In the proper sequence, the Command Center server communicates with remote agents that automate applications that either run on-premise and in the cloud. The remote agents run the requested tasks on the app server, and when the task is complete, the results are communicated back to the Command Center server that in turn keeps all client interfaces up to date. You can also see the required file resources are fetched from the relational automation repository and streamed to the agents at runtime and then removed once the task is complete. The condition arises that needs investigation, perhaps failed to connect, as you see on the screen. Then the detailed task information can easily be viewed from any Command Center client interface for remote troubleshooting. So for more information around Cognos Command Center, here are some links, some demos and videos, again, like we had for Integration Server.
So now let's take a look at some of the business cases around the Star Analytics portfolio. The main target market for Star Analytics are users and administrators of performance management solutions and business intelligence deployments within the office of the CFO and finance IT. Examples of companies who use Star Analytics are those companies who are currently using Oracle Hyperion Financial Management, or HFM, Oracle Hyperion Planning, and Oracle Essbase applications. Companies with a single source reporting strategy, including Cognos TM1. Companies who are looking to fully or partially move the BI and FPM applications to the cloud. And companies striving for a best-in-class, sustainable business analytics environment. And lastly, those companies who are looking to address control and compliance challenges in their BA environment. Let's now take a look at cloud integration.
Hosted and cloud-based application offerings are rapidly expanding their footprint in the enterprise application landscape, in addition to on-premise deployments. With the introduction of cloud computing, the traditional complexities of application automation not only remain, but get compounded. Hybrid computing environments require advanced orchestration of the critical steps between on-premise and cloud environments. And a seamless and unified handshake is required, which is typically a thorny problem to solve and introduces significant security challenges and maintenance headaches. So IBM's solution is Cognos Command Center. It's a core enabler for cloud deployments, makes hybrid cloud seamless from an application perspective. It creates a unified computing environment provides automatic workflow between on-premise and cloud applications, reduces the need for costly and complex application integration, accelerates time to market for deploying hybrid cloud application services, capitalizes on existing cloud and on-premise investments, and is certified for OOD, AWS, and Microsoft Azure. Lastly, most importantly, it increases efficiency and user satisfaction. Another case is compliance and control. As we described earlier, a patchwork of brittle custom code that is hard to maintain with manual processes that are cumbersome and require administrative privileges introduces compliance risks, ties up technical staff, and can prevent the system from being the best it can be. Again, sensitive passwords, multiple locations, hard-coded, not encrypted. Oftentimes, manual Excel-based validation processes require extra resources in between data movement steps, and are also, whenever you introduce Excel, you're going to introduce human error, as well as intensive manual error detection across multiple applications and platforms. So again, our solution is Cognos Command Center. Limit manual tasks and interventions, automate hybrid computing environments and applications, reduce the need for custom code and interfaces, provide a full audit trail to who ran what, where, when, and how, and if it failed or not. Provide source control and audit history between development tests, Q&A, and production environments. And to sum up, Integration Server easily migrates and integrates Oracle Hyperion data with Cognos TM1, supports a single source reporting strategy with TM1, supports automated data extractions and data loads for TM1. And now let's take a look at some customer case studies. In this example, an international pharmaceutical had the following problems. It had multiple vendors for software across heterogeneous environments, requiring significant manual administration. There was no automated handshake between applications. Business users had no ability to run ad hoc processes that were reliant upon IT. The data in the Oracle Essbase system manually had to be reconciled with data in the SQL Server databases. And then support was overloaded with tickets to do simple tasks from the business side. So what was the solution? The solution was a system where all PM applications seamlessly interoperated with a clean handshake across multiple servers, independent of product and platform. The production support team was able to oversee the system administration and delegate the execution of processes to finance line of business users. And data between Oracle Essbase and SQL Server, the reconcile times were automated with full exception details. And the results were that Cognos Command Center was used across all apps from various vendors and was a part of the company's operational excellence initiative. There was more confidence in data integrity and with the removal of the manual data reconciliation process. Production support easily offshore to external consultant at low cost. And lastly, manual processes were eliminated, facilitating over a 75% reduction in labor. Another example here is a credit card company. They had sensitive passwords, hard-coded multiple locations, and not encrypted. They were reliant upon a manual Excel-based validation processes, required extra resources, and was often inaccurate. There was difficult connectivity with remote servers using Windows Scheduler, and there was also intensive manual error detection required across multiple applications and platforms, so highly labor intensive. They were looking for a solution where the central administration and maintenance of login credentials would be safe and secure, that data between the source transaction systems and Essbase automatically reconciled. Runtime errors were tracked with appropriate notification visibility using IBM Tivoli, and then failure automated whereby in error conditions branched to predefined corrective actions. The results were Passwords were encrypted and parameterized across all files and processes used by all applications and servers. Roughly saved 8 hours per week using intelligent data validation. They were able to monitor real-time status of processes in Cognos Command Center Monitor Console with a 75% reduction in labor. And lastly, IBM itself. I mentioned earlier, IBM saw firsthand the value of Star Analytics. So here's our case study. Some of the challenges we had for worldwide spend included we needed to have a common interface for end-to-end expense management reporting and analysis. We needed more efficient and effective tracking of worldwide expenses and drill down to detail into and across specific geographic areas. Solution was to replace Oracle Essbase with a faster, more scalable solution known as TM1. As part of the solution, Integration Server extracted data from Hyperion Essbase and populated it into a staging repository. Today, where over 3,000 end users access TM1 on one single worldwide platform, run in one IBM Cognos TM1 cube rather than 16 disparate Oracle Essbase cubes, substantially reducing the IT labor support level. The entire solution reduced cube load times by 80% and calculation times from 45 minutes to near real time.
What I'm going to show now is Cognos Command Center. And I've opened Cognos Command Center to expose the navigation pane on the left side of the screen. The framework and design of a Cognos Command Center deployment is via its ecosystems, which is a basic container to hold processes, file resources, and triggers, and the agent. So an agent represents the host computer. So if I double click on my agent SA demo, it's going to give me the information about this host computer, and this is where the task execution takes place. An ecosystem is a simple logical container to hold these folders. And within the ecosystem here called sample processes, I have a folder of all the processes within this particular ecosystem. On the middle of the screen, I have various tabs. If I click on my process overview tab, this is going to show me all the processes that exist in this Command Center deployment. What I'd like to do is to show the capability of Command Center to run a nightly system update. In this case, this is a process called Nightly System Update for TM1. And as you can see, there are several groups within this particular process, so various subtasks that do various things, such as waiting, creating directories, refreshing servers, running TI processes, loading data, emailing things out, and so on. So to demonstrate this capability, I'm just going to go ahead and stop my TM1 server. So I have another process here called stop Cognos TM1. This is going to save and stop all the TM1 servers running in this environment. So I clicked on the run button and it's now running. It's currently stopped, so it'll notify me that it's completed, and I'll get green check marks on all these subtasks once it's done. So right now we've completed the following, and lastly now we're shutting down the TM1 admin server. And the purpose of shutting all this down is to show what happens when you get an error in one of these processes that use those TM1 servers. So let me go ahead and now run my nightly system update. Notice I can do this in development or production. All my processes here exist in development, so I'm going to click on the run process. And it's going to kick off that process for me. I get a running status. Now the refreshing of the TM1 task is going to error out because I've stopped my TM1 services. So I'm going to get a failed message here. It'll retry 3 times total, and then it'll stop the process or pause the process. Now, at that point, we could set up the system to send an email out to someone's mobile device with a link to start the Start TM1 processes, and then to resume the nightly system update. So the person doesn't have to be on site to maintain this. It can be done with mobile devices. So as you'll see in a minute here, right, the status is now paused. So this would send an email to the business user in finance, and they would then get that email and click on a link within that email to start their Cognos TM1 processes. So let's go ahead and start this, run this as if we were running it from a mobile device. We simply click on the Start Process button, and it's going to kick off this Start TM1 process. Here we go. Starting the TM1 application server. Expand this out a little bit. And this is just the time it takes for TM1 to get started, right? So now the application server is up. We're going to start the admin server, and then it's going to go and start these 4 TM1 servers in parallel. So it's not going to be a sequential thing. It's going to be running them, starting them up all at once. So here we go. We're starting the first one up, and now we're starting the middle 2 up. Now they're all starting up concurrently. Sample basic completed. And we get the rest of these completing. And we're done. So email subject went out. It sent an email to the FPM admin at SA demo with the subject services started successfully. So that would be the message that they would get, that person would get from on their mobile device. And then what they could do is go back and resume this nightly system update process that failed. And we can do that just by clicking on the run process and click resume. And it's going to pick up where it left off. It's going to retry again. Here we go, running. And it noticed that the TI processes were, the servers were up. So now we're actually running the task that we want. So that's to build a year dimension, build a measures, market, product, scenario dimensions. And these turbo integrator processes can be running, pulling data from your existing systems, any ODBC database. Here we go, and loaded fact data. And now we're getting information here from our SQL database. And now what we're doing here in iterate over list is we set up an iteration to send task reports to several different people. So here the first one is to J Tanaka. And it's iterating again to create and run a report and email it out. Now we just sent one to George Burns. S. Patterson. I think there's only 1 or 2 more emails that need to go out. There we go. Another one for J. Tanaka for New York, as opposed to New Hampshire, which was his first report. As well, Connecticut. And it's done. So we get a completed message. And this concludes our Star Analytics presentation.